When I do this, is it hella loud?
I can hear it.
All right, let me stop.
All right, guys. We're here with Lil Sicx. We are the Prince of Darkness.
Yes, sir.
We
Yes,
are
sir.
we are going to speak with him about life and things like this, upcoming projects, songs, events, things like that. If you could give everybody a quick introduction of who you are and where they can find you.
Yeah, no problem, man. My name is Lil Sicx, aka the Prince of Darkness. I'm from Sacramento, California. You can find me on all platforms: YouTube, TikTok, Facebook, Instagram, everything under the name LILSICX. That's Lil Sicx, man. We keep it simple.
Super simple. I like it.
Sure.
That was quick. There you go.
Yep, straight to the point, man.
Uh, yeah, I love it. So, if we could, I guess we'll kind of go started off with just the early years of Lil Sicx. One, two. I was gonna start to do this and see how many people kind of go with it, but if you would, what is your birth name? So, who are you, and
Oh,
where
my
did you
birth
come?
name?
Yeah,
Um, yeah. Maximilian Levesque Kunis Jr. I got a long name.
that is a long name. So,
Yeah,
what was your
MLK
first name?
Jr.
You Max,
Yep, let's go by Max.
and
Max
it's
or Six.
Maximus.
When I was little, people call me Maximus as joking, but I never, I don't have a attachment to Maximus or anything else other than Max or Maximilian.
Gotcha. Yeah, super strong
Some
name
people call
though.
me like Mad Max or something like that, but those are just like little nicknames. I don't really like if somebody says Maximus, I'm not gonna turn around.
I got you. That's just way far out your head.
Yeah,
No worries. So then the young Max,
yeah.
what was your early life like? Where'd you grow up? Did you have your parents in your life?
Okay. You got
Things
some
like
deep
that.
questions straight off the bat.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Man, you asking questions I have to think about. Like it's a long
I
time
hope.
ago. It's a long time ago. It's not a bad question, but I grew up South Sacramento for the most part. Um, I used to always stay like summers and weekends with my pops in the Elder Creek. Other than that, my mom stayed in South Sac. I did have a stepdad, so my parents weren't really together that long, if I can remember. So I've always just had my mom, my stepdad, my little brother, and I had two little female cousins that were raised like sisters to me. So I call them sister. Um, but other than that, man, it's kind of typical South Sac stuff. It's the same stuff going on right now, man. Just drugs, gangs, prostitution, violence. Um, there's some dope stuff about the city, but as a kid, man, it was just tough trying to navigate all that stuff. It's tough trying to not get in trouble. It's tough trying to stay out the way. So I was on the video game. I was on the Nintendo, I was on the Sega, I was on, you know what I'm saying? Like I grew up playing video games. That was my escape. That kept me out of trouble. That kept me out of way up until out the way until like my teenage years.
I like that. Yeah. So I assume, being that you say that, you were able to steer yourself at least out of the drugs and the gang and prostitution, shit like that, correct?
Uh you said early. So early, yeah.
Okay. Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Because
So
some people get involved early. I didn't get involved into anything until like I was 12, 13, 14. But I mean, to me, that's still young.
well,
Like
I
if my
actually
son was doing the stuff I was doing at that age, I'd lose my mind right now. So
I do understand what you mean by early and young, though, and at least in my case too, because I kind of fell in similar circumstances, with living in Las Vegas, man. It's a pretty rough
yeah, so
area.
you know how it is. It's not even I don't even know what to call it. It's just life, bro. Like it's just life in your environment and I don't know the word. I don't want to say the devil. I don't want to say sin. I
Why
just want to
not?
say
I think it's the devil.
people
I
taking
definitely think it's
advantage of
good.
each other in your
Sure.
community instead of people looking out for each other and building each other up. Growing up in Elder Creek on Bellini Way, we had a sense of community. The families looked out for the kids. The kids played together. We played football. We had water gun fights, balloons, stuff like that. But a few years after that, it became gambling. It became slanging. It became banging. The females either, you know, sell themselves or do what they do. Um, and that's a small percentage. It's not like the whole hood or the whole city was on some crazy stuff. But just overall, man, you couldn't avoid it. You walk down the street, you're gonna see some people selling themselves, or you walk to the store, somebody's gonna ask you for drugs. A lot of these kids start selling drugs. Are we allowed to say drugs? Should we use a code
Yeah,
word
yeah.
for that?
No, no,
Yeah, a
you're
lot of
good.
these people or these kids start selling drugs because you go outside. This what happened to me. I went outside and people kept bugging me for drugs. I'm like, I don't have no drugs. Then it got to the point where I was like, I might as well have some on me. I keep going outside. They keep bugging me about it, you know? So it's just like opportunity and what's available. It's a lot different now, but back then it was kind of dry. We didn't have no internet. It was like, you either had a job or you was in the streets or you were a student. And I was a straight A student, but I was always like 1 foot in school, 1 foot in the streets.
Um, being a part of, I guess, illicit activity,
Yeah,
what kind of a life do you think that that was perpetuating for you? Like, where one, I know where you are now, you know,
yeah.
as in I pretty much know where you are in life, and great place. If you were to, you know, go back as a kid in the life, how did you pull yourself out of it?
Um, I got locked up first. You know what I'm saying? I got in trouble first. I had to learn. I had to sit down. Um, I was
Hey,
17.
that's a pretty good deterrent sometimes getting
Yeah,
locked
you know what
up.
I'm saying? You get a reality check when you get caught or you get busted. So I got caught, man, and I got caught with a gun at school. Well, not with a gun at school. I used to bring my gun to school. Not every day, but some days. Some days I was shooting dice. Some days I had problems with people getting off the bus, getting on the bus. And other days it was just for basic safety because that's how it was. But I got in trouble for basically buying a stolen gun, firearm. Um, and when I did get in trouble, I didn't have the gun on me that day. That kind of helped me out on my charges, and I was able to go back to school, and I didn't really get in that much trouble because they didn't catch me with it on me, but people knew that I had it on me um before type stuff. But yeah, I went to juvenile hall, man. I got locked up at 17. I turned 18 in juvenile hall. I got charged as a minor, luckily, because they were trying to charge me as an adult since I turned 18 in juvenile hall. I always had good grades. I always knew right from wrong. I just got busted doing something I wasn't supposed to do, man. Buying stuff that I wasn't supposed to buy from, people that I didn't know. And I actually got told on. I got snitched on, man. Really, that's how I got caught. I didn't get caught because I was doing stupid stuff. I got caught because, people tell.
Yeah, that's
The dude
actually
that sold it to me got caught and told on me. So that's how I got caught. So I still think that's a blessing in disguise. Though I don't know. I don't condone snitching. It still bothers me to this day. But I know if I didn't get snitched on, I would have got caught after I was 18 and I would have been charged as an adult. And I probably would have been using that firearm a lot more than I was you know, if I didn't get caught when I got caught.
right, right. Uh, it is funny too that I mean, obviously the circumstances weren't as dire or the consequences as harsh, but KM was talking about how he was snitched on for the sunglasses, taking
Yeah,
dude's
man.
sunglasses.
People be snitching,
Like, what's up
man.
with these snitches, man? What the
Bro,
fuck?
that's ever since I got
I
snitched
need
on, bro. It
right,
was forever ago, but it just showed me that people can't take their charge. People can't take their time. When I got in
right.
trouble, I didn't even tell on the guy that sold the gun to me. I didn't know I got told on until afterwards. So I didn't snitch him out. You know what I'm saying? I didn't snitch nobody out. I just said everything was mine. And do what you're gonna do. They already knew everything. It was too late to lie to them. It was too late to, you know what I'm saying? So I would just, put my hands behind my back. They took me.
Yeah, I do. I get that, and I think that again, kind of similar. Just you get in trouble with the law and you get put into a cell, man, and all of a sudden, all the freedom that you had is just it's confined down to the 8x8 or 9x9, whatever the fucking size is at that facility, but a very tight space.
Yeah.
All of a sudden, all of your choices come into perspective. Everything that you had been doing, everything that you wanted to do, all of it just starts flooding in. It's like, why would I do that? Why did I risk my freedom
Yeah.
just to have, you know, that couple extra bucks or whatever? When I know the
A chump
struggle's
change.
more. Yeah, the struggle's more when you go and try and apply yourself in an industry that's, legitimized. It is a lot more of a hard struggle to work your way up in the legitimate world, but the consequences are far less severe. Like
Yeah, yeah,
it's
for sure. You might fail, but you're not going to
right,
jail for losing. You're not going to
right,
jail or juvenile hall, whatever, for
right, right,
trying things. You know.
right. Yeah, I think people kind of they get this whole sense of self immediate gratification. They want the immediate gratification now. The whole, like back in the day, I don't know if you ever grew up with the saying of like, do you want the nickel today or dollar tomorrow? You
I never
know,
heard that one, but I get the concept.
yeah. So, actually, I think it's a quarter today or dollar tomorrow, but um, they want that nickel right now. They want everything
Yeah,
to be gratifying and pay
I
off
definitely
like
did.
immediately. You did?
I did. Another
Yeah.
thing is I didn't plan. Let me not say the word plan. I try to use my words wisely these days because I want to be able to be 100% truthful, 100% honest, and not mix things up. So let me not use the word plan. I didn't expect to live long before I got in trouble. I didn't expect, you know how they say 21, people weren't living to 21. People were getting shot, people were getting killed, people were getting in trouble, people were disappearing, going away. Um, I kind of accepted my fate before it was my fate. I kind of just thought that that's how life was, and this is what we do. We grow up, we represent our hood, we survive, we hustle, and we take care of ourselves and our family to the best of our abilities. That's just what I thought it was. So when I was taking on my risks and chances, I was just trying to enjoy the time I had because I just felt like I wasn't gonna see 25. I still felt that way when I turned 30. I still felt like I wasn't gonna see 30 because I had went into a bad cycle and kind of gotten back into my gangsterism zone and had to start over. But I just felt like I wasn't gonna see 30. But after I hit 30, I stopped telling myself that. I started looking forward to the next day. I started looking forward to rebuilding. I started looking forward to becoming a better person, a better man, a better husband, better father. And I'm still struggling with that, man. I know a lot of people see me and think I'm successful or just on this high. You know what I'm saying? And to me, it's just I'm still rebuilding. I'm still behind on my timeline because of the mistakes I made.
How old are you now?
36.
So 6 years ago, you found this clarity of wanting to be a better version of yourself, and it sounds like you kind of wanted to be a better version for yourself or of yourself for others.
Yeah,
I think that
I'm the oldest in my family, so I've always felt like the pressure of being a good example. Like I said before, I was a straight A student, so even though I was like, doing my thing in the streets, I was always the smart kid. I was always good with money. I was good at saving. I used to loan people money, charge them interest, whole bunch of stuff that whole bunch of little stuff that I used to do. But I've always been the person you can count on or ask for help or ask for advice or just lean on. And I think that kind of took a toll. And then when I fell off or when I wasn't doing as well as I was before, I didn't know how to handle it. I didn't know how to take the loss. So I lost my mind. I lost my mind trying to protect my reputation and I ruined it. And I had to build it up brick by brick and, apologize to my people, pay people back, um, look myself in the mirror. I started going to church, got baptized. I did everything and anything possible to try to escape my own mind and my own wrongdoings. So I'm still living, not living that way. I'm still fighting against the angel and the devil on my shoulder. I got one side that likes the rush, that likes the adrenaline, that's just used to it and comfortable with it. And then I have the other side is just like I'm too old for this. I'm a father. I'm not supposed to be getting in trouble. I can't afford to be locked up. My people need me, and it's just that's kind of what my music's about, man. I got a song. I forgot what song it was because it's kind of old now, but I had a lyric in my song, and I said, praying that I don't die on my kids trying to feed them, you know? So it's like we got to take care of our kids. We got to do what we got to do. But I'm praying that I make it home to them as well. If I die out here, what's the point? If I go to jail out here, what's the point? So Man, I just try to live by that and do the right thing to the best of my ability, man, and not be so corrupt or so devious.
Which it can be hard, dude, especially if you grew up kind of feeling comfortable doing that. Me myself, I feel very comfortable living that side of life, man. It's real hard not to just dive right back into it,
Yeah,
especially when you get pushed on, man. You start getting challenged and pushed, and it's like you don't even understand how easy it is to go right back to that life, to that it's the will to stop it. You're lucky I have that. I'm lucky
yeah,
I have that. Because if I didn't, dude, I'd probably be dead or in prison myself, and
yeah.
who knows what type of violence begat that. But um, so kind of going again a little bit back again, what do you think kind of drove you into that? Or you say that you didn't have, and this is, I'm sorry, I'm scattered a little
It's all
bit.
good. I'm trying my best to keep up. I know we're gonna bounce around.
Yeah, no
We're
worries.
bouncing
So
years and times. It's good.
yes. And one of the things that I would like for people to kind of talk on, man, is that the struggles that they conquered. But I also would like to know, why do you think the struggle originated? So, in your struggle of, the life, do you think that that had a part to do with not having mom and dad together? Do you think that
No. Well,
if you had your structured family life, do you think that that would have helped prevent you from going into the life? And I mean,
yes,
I
for
don't know what
sure, for
type of,
sure, for
yeah,
sure.
yeah, I don't know
Because
what
my
type of
family
man
wouldn't
you
allow it. My
go.
family wouldn't allow it. I wasn't allowed to do the things I wasn't allowed to curse at home. So my mother tried her best to keep me out the streets, to raise me correctly. And that's basically when I'm doing things good, I feel like I'm using my mother's side. When I'm doing things bad, I feel like it's my own self-doing, or maybe my father's side, because you know what I'm saying, it's a little bit more rough on that side. But yeah, man, if I had both my parents together, I just, as a boy, as a man or a young man, we need our fathers, man. Once I lost my dad, once he went to jail, um, I didn't know what to do but carry on the name, carry on the legacy. I thought I was supposed to do what he did. He's who I looked up to. He's who I wanted to be like. So by default I was rough around the edges. By default I was a gangster. By default I was a rapper and musician. It's in my blood. But I also, by default, he was smart. He was intelligent. He taught me a lot. He taught me right from wrong. Taught me how to ride a bike. Um, he's the one that kept video games around me. I was always playing his video games before I got my own console. So it's definitely different. I think if he was around still and I had my parents together, my life definitely would have been different. But that's only that's only if my pops was gonna stop doing what he was doing. Because if he was gonna
Right,
continue to do what he was doing, it could have been
right,
worse. You
sure,
know?
sure. That I do understand. I was gonna kind of say that, like, I don't know what type of man your father was, but I was saying, like, I guess in general, speak, would it have been a better outcome, having both parents in there? Because that is kind of what most of society, a lot of society that is fucked up, messed up. I'm gonna try and watch my mouth now too,
It's
actually.
tough
But
sometimes.
yeah, but a lot of the a lot of the things that are happening in society, I do believe, is a big contributing factor is that there's not an intact family. I think that the intact home is very very much important to a child's development of self-regulation. In
Yeah.
all ways, attitude, emotional, just
And when you
everything.
say intact, that doesn't mean just in the house together. That means doing what they're supposed to, leading how they're
Yeah,
supposed to, teaching how they're
yeah,
supposed to. A
hundred
lot of
percent.
people have their families intact, but everybody's messed up. Everybody's
Right.
fighting their own demons. I got
Sure. Yeah.
addictions. That doesn't necessarily help just because you're under the same roof as them.
Agree. Yeah, I do. And I
Sometimes your
think that
family's stealing from you. You know what I'm saying? Like sometimes,
right.
like so sometimes you're trying to
Sometimes
escape your family.
it's the family that can hurt you the worst because they're the ones that you let in the closest.
Yeah, so
So
I don't know
they're
how
the
that
ones
would
that
have turned out, man. I could only just fantasize and hope it would have turned out better.
right.
But we're here now, so I'm doing the best we can and doing the best I can, and I'm trying to do that for my kids. I'm trying to make sure they have a good example to look up to, and they see their mother loved correctly, and I've definitely fallen short on that, just making mistakes as a human. So I'm still trying to make up for anything that I've put them through, you know?
Dude, do you think that the father is a big contributing factor of what pulled you out of the life?
What'd you say?
Your faith, like your faith, God, the Father. Because I was
Man,
saying the absent of father
that
and
was I
tactile
had
kind
to
of puts
find God on my own, man. I don't know if you know the music I was into, the stuff I was around. My mother believed in God. We didn't go to church much. My grandmother tried to read the Bible to us when we were kids and we were bored. It was boring to us. We went to church a little bit sometimes, but like my father was an atheist. My father was a devil worshiper. My uncle Lynch is an atheist. So uh, that was never
and you're talking
the
about
faith
Brother
part
Lynch.
was never pushed on me. I didn't have faith. I had faith in myself. I had faith in my aim. I had faith in my street smarts. I had faith in my abilities to make the right decisions and get away with it. You feel me? I had faith that I could get away with bad shit. I didn't have faith in somebody watching over me, guiding me, um, and having my best interest in mind like I do now. I didn't have faith in um time and giving myself grace and giving myself just the time to develop and the time to accomplish some goals. We were hitting licks, we were shooting dice, we wanted it that day, we wanted it that night. So I kind of wish I had a faith a little bit more early on. My mother used to say stuff like, God don't like ugly. We would pray before meals sometimes, uh, on special occasions. So it's not like we're just raised in chaos, but it was definitely like a double-edged sword in my family, just between just the street struggles and trying to overcome them.
You mentioned your uncle and that you're
Yeah.
talking Brother Lynch hung.
Yeah, as a kid, you see Lynch, you hear Lynch, he's not preaching, he's not trying to get anybody in trouble. He's not telling you to go
Oh,
do bad things, but
sure,
he's not
I
going to church.
hey,
He's not
he's
saying, "Hey,
dark.
yeah,
Hey, he's dark.
he's
R.I.P.
all
Rest in peace.
blue, blue
That was my
bandana,
best
24
friend's
on the chain."
favorite
I remember he
song.
used to have a 24 chain. I'm
Yeah.
like, bro, I know for a fact you're not 24 anymore. Why do you still have the 24?
Yet you still got it.
Yeah, I'm like, you're not
That's
24
hilarious.
years old. I'm a kid not knowing. I'm like, you're not 24. So my family's into something. My people are doing
Right. What
something.
is it? Right,
Yeah.
right.
And when I connected those dots, and I figured it out, and I seen the admiration that came with it, and I seen the little fame and the little clout that came with it, and the crew and the family and the love and the togetherness and people watching each other's back. That's what I grew to. That's what I was attracted to. It's not until you get inside of that life and inside those organizations, we're gonna call them organizations,
Sure, I
um,
got you.
that you
The
learn that
industry. It is an
it's
industry,
all
so
it's all fake, man. It never lasts. When money is a problem, people change. When people go to jail, people snitch. When drugs are involved, people lose their minds. It's just one of those things where I had to see it for myself and I had to make my own mistakes. So, but yeah, I was never pushed in faith at all by anyone. And the only reason I found my faith, I started listening to that voice again, man. Just I thought it was my conscience, but I was having premonitions, I was having visions, I was having nightmares. I would hear certain things when I would watch TV or just watch YouTube. Certain things would stick out, and I just always felt like it was the Lord trying to speak to me in any way He could. And a lot of people, I don't really tell a lot of people this type of stuff because they probably think I'm crazy. You know what I'm saying? But now I can speak better, I can talk about it, and I can formulate it. And a lot of people spiritually have grown as well, so they understand. But I
oh,
didn't
I
understand
definitely
when I was going
I
through it. I'm like, why
understand
am
it.
I hearing this voice?
Yeah.
Why am I having this dream over and over again? Why am I awake but seeing a movie with my eyes open? And that's how I started doing music. That's how I write my songs, and that's how I've been living my life. Is just trying to do the right thing, but also just listening to that voice inside and trying to be organic with it.
Dude, I like that a lot, dude. I do believe 100% that all I because sometimes people, they're like, well, that's your voice. That's your voice, your inner voice. Like, do you know that for sure? Like, do you know
Yeah,
that because I
there's
think that
multiple, and
maybe
some people got
sometimes
multiple voices. It's not just one
right.
voice all the time.
Well, I hear some debates, and I like this guy. He asked a question when they say that. He says, "What voice do you hear? When you hear it, is it your own voice or is it just a voice?" Me personally, it's just a voice. Like I don't hear my own tone in my head, but I can
If I'm
imagine
thinking
it.
something personally,
Yeah.
I hear my voice.
You
If
hear your
something
own
comes to
voice?
me, if
Yeah.
something comes to me, I hear
A voice.
a voice. Yeah, it's
Right.
warming, it's comforting. And then when I'm stressed out, when I have anxiety, I don't hear a voice, but I still feel the thoughts. You know, it's like
That
if
sounds
I
like
think
evil.
bad stuff.
Oh, hey, that sounds like evilness there.
Yeah, exactly. When it's evil,
It can't
it's
get
not
inside
really
your
a
head and tell
voice.
you. It's got to make you feel and make you fucking act.
Yep, exactly. But when
I,
it's the Lord, it's like, hey, watch yourself, or hey, you're doing the right. And then that's another thing. When you start listening to that voice, that positive voice, that Lord voice, whatever you want to call it, your personal voice, when you start listening to the good things and deciding in your brain to do the good things that your brain is telling you to do, there's like a
excuse
follow-up.
me.
There's another voice, there's another chapter, there's another task. And I took that serious, man, because I just wanted to feel normal again. When you're in that life, you're slanging, you're banging, you got enemies, you're paranoid, you're ducking the police. You lose a piece of your yourself. You lose a piece of your normality. You know, I just still to this day I don't feel normal. I don't feel regular. That's why I'm Lil Sicx, the Prince of Darkness, not the Prince of Regularness. You know,
Right.
so it's like
The
I'm just
Prince
trying
of
to feel normal,
Regularness.
man. I'm just trying to be okay.
Um, well, then I have to give you a small pushback on the thing that you kind of refuted your own statement. Just saying. I just bring you to this. I asked you, do you think that the Father is the one that helped pull you out of it? And you say you didn't really have the
Stepfather,
faith. Yeah, God. Did God help pull you out of the life? And you say you had to find your own faith. So you weren't really attributing your absent of the life or moving away from the life to specifically God yet. You were just saying
I
that you
still
weren't in
don't
your
think that I'm done with the life. I still feel like
right.
I'm in the life.
I,
Once you're in it forever. It's
well,
just, are
I
you
do
doing
get
dirt in the life? Are you looking out for
I can
others in
get
the
that.
life? Are you guiding these kids and the youth to not do the same mistakes? But regardless, you're in the life. Once you signed up for it, it doesn't unless you drop out, unless you say, "Hey, I'm not from here and I don't want to represent this," and you just go off the planet Earth. And even if I did denounce everything, you would have to move.
Right away, which is why I'm not in the gang life that I had in Vegas.
Yeah,
I'm not
you
near
can't
any of
you
these
can't
people. I'm in a
you
different
can't rep
state.
a city or rep a hood,
Right. I'm in
and
St.
then
Louis, not Vegas. What am I gonna do? People are like, "Who the fuck are you?"
yeah, like you kind
I
of got to get away from
watch
everything
my
because
mouth.
people are gonna know you. They're gonna know your
Right.
history. They're gonna know your past. They're
Right.
gonna know your parents. They're gonna. You can't just quit. It don't work like
Right.
that. So instead of quitting, instead of dropping out, instead of um pretending like I'm better than everyone, I just decided to move a different way because it's still a part of me. I can't help it. You know
Do they respect that?
what's up?
Do they respect that decision, or do they
Who is
try and
they?
push you to? Well, anybody that you were affiliated with that might still be in like the bad side of life. If you're
They don't have a
still
choice. I'm not asking for permission.
well,
I'm just
that's
asking.
not what I mean. What I mean is, do they is there any peer pressure to try to get you back to the other side? Or are they completely
Uh,
accepting that
I don't think
you
so.
are moving different?
Nah, I'm old too. So what are they gonna tell me? I got a wife and kids. But if I was younger, then for sure, yes. But now it's like, leave me alone, bro. I got to take my kids to school. I got to go to work. So it's like they don't have the chance to. I'm not around them. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
But if I were, um, whenever let me say, let me not say if I were, whenever I am around them, with anybody still involved in the life, with anybody that's still active, I just make sure we're doing something positive. I make sure I keep my head on the swivel, and I make sure I'm the leader because I know I'm not
I,
going to lead them to do anything wrong. But
I
if I
like that.
wanted to lead them to do anything wrong, they would let me, and I know I have that power over some, and I know I have
I
that
get what you
guidance
mean.
over some, and I don't want to abuse that.
Yeah, I think that I try to tell my sons that specifically that they don't understand how much power young men actually can wield and how much influence and authority you can gain uh acting that way as a young man and moving into an older status, um,
Yeah.
we can literally shape and influence the world, the
Yeah.
societies near us, and have that perpetuate out. And I think it's very, very important that one, we as parents and the older generation, instill in the younger generation how important it is to be better and to not put people in a position of um like they're not a I'm trying to think, they're not a target. People, the community isn't a target, it's something to be protected. You
Yeah, for
shouldn't
sure.
look at somebody and think, man, what can I get from that? What am I going to gain from this? It should be, what can I give back to these people? How
Yeah.
can I influence them to be better? How can I make sure that these people's kids are safe, along with my own? Like, this is the mentality that the kids again have, is this they want this self gratification, they want everything me 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 me, and they want it right fucking now, and nobody cares about the community and investing in time and energy, because the
Yeah.
energy that you put out you do get back, and I think tenfold. So if you want to go out there and be a crappy person, you're going to get a lot of crappy energy back to you, and it's
Yeah.
going to be it's again tenfold. I think that's where you see people going to prison. That's why the life never leads to anything but death or prison, period. The
Yeah.
bad life, on the bad side of it. If you continue to live that life, you are destined for two things: death or prison. There
Straight
is
up.
no goodness in it. So I don't understand why the pursuit of it, when we can use that same influence and energy to do something better. I do
Yeah.
like the authority that um you had it in your community. Like, I had it in the Mexican community out in Vegas, the Italian community, like the mob. Dude, you can walk down the sidewalk in those neighborhoods. You can let your kids walk in there. Nobody's messing with your kids.
Yeah.
Nobody. They know kids are off limits. But I see that also receding out of communities where all of a sudden kids are up for kids are fair game now. Where is
The
this sense
kid.
of protection?
Do you mean kids that are not involved, or just kids in
Sure,
general? Because
I
now
meant kids
the
I
kids are
do
calling
mean
the
kids in
shots.
general. Yeah,
Now
you're right.
the kids are doing the damage
You're right. You're right. But why is that? That is because the
because we
elders
failed
didn't
them.
do their
The
job. Yeah,
people above them failed them.
failed, failed
Yeah.
miserably too, spectacularly. We need to get back to that. So I like that you have this sense of it's important what you use your influence on.
Yeah.
You have the influence, and if you're not using it or utilizing it to push the young men out there to do better, then you're just pushing damage, is
Yeah.
what I think, for sure.
Agreed, man.
So I think that there's a lot of respect on that one,
So
and I
when I run
do.
into anybody that's not rocking with that or not supporting that, it's easy for me to just leave them alone. I'll pray for them, I'll
Peace.
wish them well, and I'll leave them
Yep.
alone because I know what happened. I know what's gonna happen if I try to go against that person. They're gonna drag me down, and it's not gonna end well for me. And I just hope they realize what I realized, and hopefully they come to terms with their decisions and just make better choices. Man, a lot of people think you have to just denounce everything and everybody, and you don't. You just have to move smarter, and your people are gonna follow suit. They see you doing good things, they're gonna salute you. If they see you on the rise, they're gonna follow your blueprint, and they ain't gonna put the little twist on it. But if you do good and you represent yourself properly, the people that you're influence will want to do good and represent themselves in the same manner.
Think that logically follows
Yeah.
for sure. All right. Early life, you got out of that, went into this. When did you meet your wife? What age were you? How long have you?
Uh, sheesh. 15.
Oh, you've known her a long time,
We're high school sweethearts, man. We're back going on 20
dude.
years. We're going on 20
That's
years. And that when you say, did God help you out the life? God sent me her, you know. She helped. She did what
my
she
wife
could.
too.
She didn't try to talk me out of things, but she never tried to talk me into things that were wrong for me, you know? She's always had my back, and she's always She's always been my rock, man. She's always been stable. I'm the crazy one, bro.
Dude, same here. And
I'm the
I
messed up
agree
one, man.
100%, man. The wife
Not saying she's
is,
perfect or anything, but she had a way better sense of way better head on her shoulders at a young age than I did. I was advanced, but I was advanced in everything negative, you know?
dude, that's exactly the same here. Her parents were like religious, got school teacher, army dad, school teacher mom, army dad,
Yeah.
just that whole typical perfect like type of kid life that, suburban type kid life. And I was everything opposite of that. Just straight dirty, crappy person. I was very bad. And I was trying to get better as I was meeting her, but man, she brought the light, dude.
Yeah.
She really brought the light, and because of her, we both, because she was kind of out of her faith also a little bit, but because of her, we were both able to find God again and have a clear direction on what we want life to be, and especially now after having a baby. My kids are grown, my other kids, excuse me. Um, I still felt this whole, once my channel got deleted, dude, I was spinning out. I didn't know what to do. I didn't have
Yeah.
purpose anymore. And all I want to do is use the influence that I did have to try and move people into a better way. And it was taken from me. And I was like, I didn't know what to do. And she's never had a kid. So when we had that, dude, purpose again, like just
Yeah.
direction, it's very clear. And it's also very clear that the direction that I was going in is still the very same direction I want to go in. I just need to do it in a different way
Yeah.
to protect that. But yeah, I mean, it's it's good to have that type of an influence on society or into some individuals and watch them flourish when they utilize the information that you give them. Like my grown son, I give him info and he does stuff like he's
You
wanting
give
to
him
be
the
a
game,
fireman. Yeah, dude, and
the
he
good
does it.
game.
He listens, and every time, and I don't all the time when I say it, you don't think it lands, but then his
Yeah.
actions start to show, and I'm like, you were listening to me, man.
That's
You were
beautiful, man.
listening and you were acting like you weren't, but you were.
That's
So
beautiful.
yeah. Yeah, I do think so. The woman brings a lot of softness into a hard man's life.
Hmm.
So you've known her since 15. Did you um did you guys move in early? When did you have your first kid
18.
together?
18,
18.
we moved out together and got our first apartment. So
What were you doing
that,
then? What type of work?
I don't even think I was working yet. She was working. I was still in the life.
I got you.
Not for too long though.
Uh-huh.
I started working at 19, I think.
Excuse me.
Yeah, I started working at 19. So I was into sneakers. I'm still into sneakers. So anything that was positive was video games and sneakers for me. That was my positive hobbies. That was when I got to network with people outside of the life. That's how I found the balance and the my different lanes and what I'm good at besides doing dirt, you know?
You into hydro dipping?
Yeah. No,
You
wait, what?
are hydro
Hydro
dipping.
dipping. Oh no, no, I thought you were talking about something else. Man, yeah, I
No,
heard hydro.
no,
I
no.
heard hydro. I was like, whoa, hold on, what's that? Nah, but when they dip stuff in there and the print comes out on the shoes,
Yeah,
I don't do that. But if I could, I would. Like I like to learn about it, but
you
I like my stuff
please.
like I like Jordans, so I don't like to mess up things. But like if I say I
Sure,
had like all black Air Forces, all white Air Forces, something like that, I definitely experiment with a couple pairs like that. But with Jordans, you don't really touch them like that. It messes up the value.
sure. Yeah,
But
I mean,
so there's
I do.
like play shoes and then collectibles.
If you're gonna collect them, see, you are in it to with with in the shoe game.
Yeah,
Um, I did a pair of and ones for my son. I did some spray paint dip, and then I got this Rick and Morty print, and I dipped that
nice.
on there too. And I mean, it was okay, but the paint, I didn't get the right paint when you bent the shoe, it
It
cracked.
cracked.
So,
Yeah, there's
yeah,
definitely levels to customizing and prepping the shoe. That's why I don't mess with it because it's not simple.
right. I got you. Um, so bringing light, man, bringing babies into the world, trying to get myself back to where I was going. Where did you start with music? Like when and where? What was your what
Probably like
was you were watching people, you said, and you saw the influence and the clout and everything, and so that's something that you were trying to gain for yourself. You wanted that. What
not
actually
initially.
stepped you?
Not initially. It was that was the cloud was from the street stuff, not the music.
Oh, I got you. Okay, okay,
Yeah, yeah,
okay.
yeah. The music was just it's the music's a part of the street stuff because you're talking about street stuff, but
Sure.
they weren't popular because they were artists. They were popular because they were gangbanger artists. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Um,
I got
but
you.
but um, it wasn't music wasn't always a serious street negative thing for me. I still like mainstream music. I still listen to a little bit of everything, but starting was like 9, 10. Me and my cousins would like just make up little raps and perform them for my dad, or just we're bored, we're entertaining ourselves. You know what I'm saying? So we would just come up with little flows, freestyle little songs, but they were all either positive or about kid stuff because we were kids and we stayed in our lane back then. But that was like 19 years old. And then around 15, 16, that's when I started rapping as a you know, teenager. We had the group called Stunting Boys with me, my cousin, and my little brother. And even then, we still weren't allowed to curse, but the concepts that we are talking about were pretty much the same things. It was just a little. It was just wrapped in fun. It was wrapped in dance instead of wrapped in violence. You know, it was kind of like blended in. But my family
Y'all
has
had
this
dance offs.
background. What's
Y'all
up?
have dance offs and shit.
I wasn't too big on dancing, because I was the shoe guy. I'm not trying to mess up my shoes, but my
Oh,
little
yeah,
brother
no,
was, my little cousins. A lot of my family dance. I don't,
no.
I can do a little gangster boogie. I can do a little two step. But I'm not. I was never really a big on dancing. I'm more. I can
Okay.
vibe out, but I don't. I'm not good with like choreography or anything or competing and stuff like that. To me that was anti gangster. I was doing gangster shit.
Hey, no, you know
Dancing
what? That's
and
probably why I don't dance, is because
yeah,
there's too. It's
I
not
was doing
that
everything else.
wasn't thug
I let
enough.
my little brother dance. You know what I'm saying? You go to the party, I got the strap. We make sure we make it home safe. Y'all go dance. We'll dance on the girls. We just want to
Hey,
dance with the girls. We're
yeah,
not doing nothing.
I actually I never did that either because I was always in the corner, man. Like,
Yeah,
what,
exactly. But
dude? Like for real.
but the girl's gonna come press up on me against the wall. You know what I'm saying? So
Hey,
I'm
yeah,
already on the wall. Do your thing, girl. But that
right.
was pretty much it for me. We danced and we had dances, but it was more like just having fun. But when I say dancers, like my little brother, my little cousins, like they take dance seriously. So I just don't consider myself a dancer because I respect the craft, you know?
They walk around with that fucking cardboard and
Yeah,
they throw it on the
yeah,
ground.
that was probably like my uncle back in the day. But yeah, back then the cardboard or
Yeah,
gloves or a extra pair of shoes just to dance
right.
in, like
Oh,
being
see, that's
prepared
what
to
you should be
dance.
doing. You should grab yourself some dance shoes. Be like, I got
Yeah,
my dance shoes on today.
exactly. Like so,
He said, I
I
didn't have
respect the
time.
craft enough to not try to claim like I was in it. You know,
What that dude did? He said, I didn't have time yesterday, but I got time
got
today.
time today. Yeah, and I was,
um,
I seen it, I watched it, I witnessed it. I was definitely a part of the scene somewhat, but I wasn't the dancer.
when you were making the old school music, man, is there any of that still out there? Like, did you guys put it on any type
Um,
of press, and now is it uploaded into anything?
Well, we had stuff on MySpace back then, so I'm pretty sure it's still floating on MySpace if you want to look it up.
Is
I'm
MySpace
pretty
still
sure like
there?
some of the fans
Oh,
have uploaded it.
hold on. MySpace still exists?
I don't know. I haven't logged into it,
Oh,
but
okay.
if they haven't deleted the website, everybody's
Yeah,
profile should still be on there.
that's crazy.
Like
Yeah, that's
I
crazy.
don't know,
Anyway, yeah, MySpace.
but like there's old links like Photo Bucket. You can still log into your old Photo Bucket. You know what I'm saying? If you still got your information, but
That's
we don't
crazy.
use it anymore. But it's not
Right.
deleted. You see what I'm saying? So I
Yeah,
don't
yeah,
know if they
yeah.
deleted it or if they erased everything, but we were definitely on MySpace. We had CDs. We were doing house parties. Um, and really, it was nothing even serious for us. We were just talking about our lives and having fun. And
Yeah, that's good.
the hyphy music was out at that point, so we were just trying to make stuff that we thought was dope and we thought was cool. Um, but that was pretty much it though, man. But that stuff still exists. Like my manager has a copy of my CD still. Um Stunting Boys. And I didn't even know him back then. I met my manager 6, 7 years ago. So he has a CD from when I was 15, 16 years old that he's had for years before I even met him. That's how big of a collector and his Sacramento historian he is. Um, and that just lets me know that I was doing the right thing then. I think I should have just stayed doing music, man. But doing music also kept you around the life. So when I was trying to get away from the life, when I went to work, when I got off probation, all that stuff, I left music alone because of everything else that it came with.
Sorry, I'm sending you a DM for later.
Yep, yep.
Um,
But that early stuff's still around. I even ran into a old friend that I used to make music with, like a little bit after. I got these spurts. 19 years old, we're freestyling, making up stuff. 15, 16, we're recording, dropping mixtapes, remixes to the mainstream songs. Um 17, I get locked up. 18, I leave everybody alone because by law I can't be around no gang members anyway. I'm gang affiliated. 19, I start working. um I leave music alone completely when I'm start working. I just don't feel comfortable talking about street stuff when I'm going to work every day. It felt fake. Back then we didn't cap, we didn't lie. If you wasn't doing it, you didn't talk about it. And even if you were doing it, you talked about it in a way that wouldn't get you in trouble. So for
right,
me, when
right.
I started working, I didn't feel like I had the right to rap about that stuff, even though I had lived it and I've been through it. It just didn't feel right to me at the time.
Didn't feel
Then my uncle
authentic.
Lynch, my uncle Tarkan, COS, they kind of like brought me back in, like, yo, we need you on this track. So I ended up doing a couple songs with them. High school friend named
You got a
Dana,
song with
aka
Lynch?
MC. This is like 21, 22, 23. Now he's like, hey man, we gotta start doing some songs again. Now it's fun again. Now it's the trouble and all the loose ends that were keeping me in trouble were gone. And now it's just these people love music. Let's make music. You know, it became that. And then I left it again. I left music alone again till I was like 29, 28, 29. That's when I got back into it. I can't stay away, even though there's so much good and bad and turmoil that comes with it. It's just one of my coping mechanisms now.
Well, I think that, like many of the artists that I know, I do the people that I like to interact with, man, are as passionate as you are with the music. It's not like the thing is a life, dude. It's a lifestyle, man. It's you usually when you're putting something out, man, that's your heart that you're putting out on a
Yeah.
track or something, you know. And those are the kind of people that I like. Whether even if, dude, even if it's like a party song or something like that, man. At that point, dude, it was a very passionate write down. I'm sure, you know, you were feeling that party moment. So the people I like to interact with, it comes usually from inside. It's not just something off the dome because you think people will vibe with this I vibe with, and I hope they vibe too.
Yep.
Right. I think that's a different mindset when you're putting out music. And I really like and appreciate when that much passion goes into it. And, you know, especially for somebody who seems to have wanted to continue to step in and out of it, man, it's like it won't. Every time I get out, they keep pulling me back in,
Yeah,
you know?
exactly. And it was one of those things where I just couldn't fight it. I couldn't fight it anymore. I'm like, you know what? If I would have stayed doing this from the beginning, I probably would have been further. So let me not make that same
Sure.
mistake again. And I still
Right.
have that battle with
But
myself.
hold on, but where do you think you would have been though, man? I think you
I
might
would
have
have been
been in
on
a
tour. I was fucking
yeah, but
dope.
I'm saying in your mind, would your mindset have been as good as it is now, or do you think you would have been more
Back
of
then, it
the
depends. If I would
right?
have stayed doing music like 21, 22, 23, yes, because I was a little bit older. I was working. I would have, I wouldn't have found trouble again. Me not doing music and me not like that's the thing. Compete. I used to compete in video games. I used to play Street Fighter. I used to travel for tournaments and stuff. So when I
That's
stopped
cool.
doing my
That's
hobbies,
awesome.
when I stopped chasing my dreams or doing my hobbies, that's when I got in trouble again. That's when I started gambling again. That's when I started doing street stuff again. So really, it's just video games, sneakers, and music. That's my lifeline. Besides my family, of course, and my faith. But I think if I would have stayed doing music back then, I would have been okay. I don't think I would have had that second relapse of midlife crisis and having to get my stuff together all over again because I had my stuff together and I had messed it up. I don't think I would have made those same mistakes if I was doing music and had something, to hold on
Yeah,
to back then. I was I just start focusing on everything else. But I see
But
what you're
if you
saying though. Like it could have went bad, but
yeah, if you would have stayed in it at 17 or 16 or
yeah, it would have been
15 or
bad.
whatever.
It would have been
Yeah,
bad.
and
It would have
right.
been bad for sure.
I so my point though was that I'm glad that you did your intermittent things because it seems to have put you in a very healthy place of life right now, and of
Yes,
course,
sir.
kind of like you were saying, from outsiders looking in, we see success and happiness, and in my mind, success goes way beyond career. I see your loving family, beautiful family, dude. By the way,
Thank you,
man,
man.
I love seeing all of you together doing the family thing. It gives me hope. I think, family life is the most important thing, the most valuable thing in all of the world, in all of society. I don't know of anything more important to covet and protect other than the family unit. Yours and other people's, because dude, without them we're
We have
lost.
nothing.
And yeah, we really don't. There's Without people we don't have society, and without families we really don't have people. It's just it's good to see that, man. So um we couldn't even imagine what a struggle would be in your life, because you seem to have you're moving in the right path. Whether or not you're battling your own demons, we see your direction is righteous and good. So I
We
think that
try,
that
man.
that's
We all
awesome.
try, right?
Yeah. I, I I mean, we all don't, but
Well, that's the hope that we try. I feel
yeah.
like if you're trying to do good, eventually you'll get there. If you're trying to do bad, eventually you'll get there.
Yeah, I don't disagree at all with that. All right, so we got into that early music life, man. What was your first strikeout on your own when you thought, you know what, man, I got my new clarity. This is what I'm gonna move to now. I'm gonna put down this song or this album, and this is all me into it. What was that first album? Is it still available?
That
Give
was
us a little
Hell's
insight.
Angel. That was Hell's Angel. I don't know if you bumped that or not, listened to it, but that was me going back as a kid to a
I
teenager up
see the
until
cover.
the age I was at that point. That's what that album was about.
When did you make that?
I believe 2019. Probably started it in late 2018, released it in 2019, something like that.
What was your on that specific album? Because I have a different question for the s- similar to this, but on that album, what do you think was your most impactful song, even to you, I guess, but that you were hoping would be impactful to people when they hear it? Because it's your story, and you're like, man, this one right here, this one's deep.
I got a couple deep ones on there, but I'm
You
not
can put
sure if those deep ones meant anything for anyone else. They
sure,
meant
but
something for me.
yeah, what one
But
would that? What if you were gonna list it? Top to three, like because you said a few or a
Conscious,
couple.
I got a song called Conscious, something like that. Um, Devil Got My Soul, and man, I got a few on there. I would just say those two. Um, but really, it was a combination of representing the Sacramento sickness and the way I thought it was supposed to be, representing Sacramento hip hop and the way I thought it was supposed to be, but also telling my story. And it was a suicide note. It was a suicide album. I was suicidal that whole album, that whole
Self
project.
delete, self delete, self delete.
Oh, we
You
can't say
can't.
that.
Yeah, yeah. No, yeah.
Man,
Self delete. It's
yeah,
okay.
it was
It's
it was one of those albums. I was leaving a message for my family. I was planning on creating the album, releasing it, and then deleting myself. But the passion for music, the joy it brought me, changed my mind on that. But really, I was gonna make that album and disappear because I was still hurting. And I was still going through the stuff that I was telling you about, with addiction and just the street stuff, letting my family down, destroying my reputation, trying to build it back up. I was still going through all of that. So I just put it on wax, man. And it just kept me going. It guided me. It gave me something. It gave me purpose again. So once I felt that purpose, I didn't want to stop. I didn't want to let it go.
And by the way, yes, I do. I had to see the cover of it. I have several of that album's songs on playlists. So yeah, that album
Gotcha.
specifically. But I think I got songs from all of your albums on playlist,
Thank you,
man.
man.
Yeah. Well, yeah, dude. Again, honored and privileged to be able to have a I was gonna it is, dude, a friendship. I was gonna say a relationship, but to have this interaction with you, man, to be able to call you friend, dude. I think that
Yes, sir.
that's really it's really awesome, man. And again, the passion that you guys put out, the people that I can call friend, and what you guys, dude,
The
I just
music brings people
appreciate I
together. It connects
appreciate you
people.
putting it out. Yeah. Well, say it again. I'm sorry.
I said the music brings people together. It connects
Yes.
people, man.
Yes, it does. It really does, man. And that's why I think it is important to let your heart out sometimes, in the pen, dude. You got to let people understand who you are sometimes,
Yeah.
this vagueness of a position that people sometimes take, oh, it sounds like he could be saying this. Well, it sounds like he could be saying that. I think it might be good for business because you get both sides, man. But I do think that to stand definitively on what you believe and who you are is a very strong message. And I think that the fans that you get or the support that you get from that is way healthier, dude.
Yeah.
And it's sustainable. That's something that actually will longevity is in that.
Yeah.
You get the fair weather stuff, man, all of a sudden, dude, you do one thing that they don't like, gone. They're
Yeah.
gone. And not even like they don't like something that you did because like you cut somebody off in traffic. No, you did a song that they don't like. All of a sudden, they're like, this guy's trash.
Yeah. That's
It's
the
just
society is definitely rough on artists these days about
it
that, but
it
you know.
absolutely is, man. The moment you put out something, dude, that they don't vibe with, man, it's bad.
And I had
Um,
those thoughts when I was making my positive music. I have a few songs that have no curse words or no N words. And I was like, man, I came out so hardcore. Are they gonna vibe with this? But I just make all my music like organically. So if I'm feeling positive and I'm feeling like I'm not gonna curse in this song, I stick to it. Or if
I
like
remember you telling me
the
that.
song
That's
we did
awesome.
for the fighting thing, I
Yeah.
knew from the
Yes.
beginning that there's no N
Starter
words and no
kit.
cursing. So doing those songs helped me be able to create more that way. So, sometimes you got to make songs that your kids can sing too.
I agree. Again, too, publicly thanking you from Vigilant MMA. We thank you so much, you and Cam, for making that. It's on my playlist. I bumped that too.
For sure,
It's
for
a
sure. It was an
very
honor,
good
man. It was
song.
fun. It was eye opening. It was an experience. It's something that I'm proud to have on my resume.
That's so cool. We cannot wait to get you guys at an event. I hope that it doesn't happen without me. I hope that one time we could get you guys out there and I'll be out there too, man. Which here
I'll
it'll
be traveling
probably
more this summer, man, and throughout the end of the year, man. I'll be in Tennessee this summer, so I might not be super close to you, but I'm gonna make my way, man. We're gonna connect the dots somehow.
absolutely, man. We have to. Um all right, so the question that I was going to ask that was similar to what I just asked is it's two questions. One, what song would you say is the one that you made and you wanted it to make a impact? Like you wanted it to hit. You made it and you're like, man, this one's gonna fly. This is it. This is the heat. I want people to vibe. And it didn't get the reaction that you wanted. So you
Mm.
kind of want to maybe bring more attention back to it, like, hey, check this out. But like, what would that song be that you made that you thought was going to
Man,
be a
all of them,
banger?
bro. All
That's
of
what
them.
KM said. I know. I
All of
get it.
them, bro. Like I
No,
feel
I
like
get
people
it.
are asleep, but that's the part of the
They
game.
are sleeping. Go ahead, dude. You're right. They are.
If I had to pick one,
Yeah.
it would be Put One in the Air. And that song did pretty good, but I don't think people understood the
I'll look
deeper
that one up.
concept, the layers that I was speaking about. I think they just seen me, the darkness, and was like, oh, he's flowing. But really that song is about like racism, slavery, politics. There's some deepness in there, but I don't think everybody got it. And it's tough for some people to decipher the codes and the messages sometimes.
No, I okay, we'll say sometimes. You're right, man. It's true though, dude. I do think that a lot. I want to say a lot of the time. I think a lot of the time they miss the message, man. You know,
Hey, my wife's messaging me, man. How much longer we got?
we we can cut that.
I
So
don't want to be rude, but if I
yeah,
don't text her back,
no,
you know how the wives are.
yeah, I do. Look, we'll a couple more questions, not much, just the other one to that song, and then maybe a couple of your
I
plugs,
send a
what you're
text
doing.
message. Will it mess up this audio and visual?
I don't
I'll
think
wait. I'll
so.
wait.
All
I'll
right,
wait.
all right.
I don't want it to
Look,
turn black and we get kicked out.
no worries. All right. So the other part of it was, what song did you make ever that you can think of that is just, it was, you put it out and you're like, man, why did I put that song out? It is straight trash, and it's still out there for people to hear. So what
Not
song
like
would
the
that,
song I hate the most.
sure, that you made, yeah.
I got a song with an artist named Vicious Swagger. No disrespect to her. She's a Hmong artist. I was a fan of her music, still a fan of her music. But we made a song together, and it was one of those songs where I just wanted to work with her so bad, and I wanted to have her on the project because I felt like we needed to create something together. Um, the song is called "I Say," and I just feel like it could have been done better. I feel like we could have used a different concept. We could have came together in the studio and wrote it differently. But at the time, that's what I had. So um, I want to make more music with her because I feel like we missed with that one.
Suggestion, another song, the sequel, I Said, and then do
Yeah,
what you
yeah,
wanted to
something.
do.
Yeah, I'm saying something of that nature. But yeah, it was it just it didn't fit her well. I kind of brought her into my dark world. Um,
Ah, okay.
and I don't think that really fit her, you know.
I actually I thought the other way around. I thought you didn't fit her, but she didn't fit you. I got you.
Nah, I feel like if we went with her vibe, I could fit in her vibe easier than people can fit in my vibe, just because mine's
Sure.
is a little bit deeper
It's
and
it's
darker.
unique too. I like,
Yeah,
dude, your beat. I
it
can I
takes a
can
certain
hear it.
person to even write that way. But like, she's fun. She makes dance stuff, so I can do that too. I can tap in. I can tap into that too. Um, and she's a spitter. She got dope bars, but she's just not like on some dark gangster stuff. She's just not. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I like that though. I think that that's cool. We don't need to be on that all the time.
Yeah, but
Um,
that's the type of song I put her on though. So
yeah, I
that's
got you.
why I didn't feel like the song was felt organic enough. And
It didn't
that's
do
on
her
me though,
justice.
because she was just doing what I asked her to do.
Yeah, it didn't do her justice.
What's up?
It didn't do her justice.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
Exactly. I feel
I
like
got you.
when I do features, I try to do features to where the song fits the person that's featured on the song more than me nowadays. I try to think of
Smart.
their voice and their stuff on there first versus
I,
myself.
I think that's smart. That's smart. Yeah, man. I mean, dude, for one, being being this privileged where I have you at my disposal, I think we can always just do another interview someday, in the
Yeah,
near
for sure,
future
man.
as
I
this
always got
grows,
stuff to
dude.
talk about.
Yeah,
And
dude,
your questions are dope, man. Now that I know how this stuff works, I'll work out the kinks a little bit better. I'll be a little bit more on time and punctual. I'm always late, man.
it's all
Not
right.
too late, but it's like, if you show up on time and you have technical difficulties, now you're late.
Yeah, and and it did happen. That's what happened.
Yeah,
So,
so I
which
need to be earlier. I need to do a sound checks.
much appreciated on that. And yeah, dude, that's I'm eager to get that going too. And I told, dude, I told pretty much everybody on the beginning here, man. As this grows, I do want to give us, you guys, an opportunity to get um a bigger crowd or a bigger viewing on the interviews. So I would
Yeah,
like
yeah.
to
Make some
redo
clips,
it.
man. I'll repost them all day, man. People tap in, they see them. They might not go viral, but people hit the DMs and they're inspired and they share, and we go from there.
I've been thinking about doing that. I will. I've got to find an editor that will do that for me too,
It's tough.
man.
It's work. It's work. It's definitely work.
Yeah, I know. So I have to pay him, and I ain't got that much money these days
I
on
can
it.
dig it,
So
man. We'll figure it out. But what I like to
yeah,
do is just go to the interview and screen record. just chop it up and screen record into little pieces that I like and go from there.
I like that. Yeah, I think I seen you do some. I think I seen you share clips like that then, because it
Yeah,
has
I'll just
comments
I'll just
on your
screen
clips.
record it, crop
Yeah,
it, add a
yeah,
caption, tag you, and
yeah.
you can break down the topics and break down the conversation in the comments depending on which the piece that you clipped.
I will definitely be getting into that. Today I got another interview with Punchline 3 and T. That's
Nice,
going to
nice.
be here
Tell
in
them I said what's
like
up, man.
2 or 3 hours. I will, dude. I will.
All right.
All right. Well, at the end here, let's go ahead and give yourself another shameless plug, man. Please tell people who
Yes,
you
sir.
are, where they can find you, and any upcoming things or something that you just dropped. Like
Gotcha.
what's hot now?
All right, it's Maxman Levesque Kunish Jr., aka Lil Sicx, aka the Prince of Darkness. That's Lilsicx on all platforms. I got a lot of collaborations right now. I haven't been focusing on a solo album. I've been creating with like no pressure, no barriers. I got the new kid on the way. Well, actually, the new kid's here. So I wanted to create still,
Congrats.
but I didn't want to feel obligated to make an album and tell a story. I just wanted to have fun. So I've been doing a lot of collabs. We got stuff with X Rated. We got stuff with Holotip. We got stuff with Lynch. We got stuff with Chewy. We got stuff. Yeah, I see you, man. I got a lot of Sacramento features. I got some out of state features. But I will be starting a solo project as well soon. Um, got a song with G-Lo coming out next month, Friday the 13th. It's called Man Down. It's pretty dope, man. I hope y'all can check it out. But other than that, man, just follow me on socials, Lilsicx. That's pretty much it, man. Stay blessed. I appreciate you for having me. Thank you again.
Thank you, man. I appreciate you for being here. I appreciate you, all the effort that you put out, man, in the work that you do. And I'm again honored to have such a friendship, man, with you. And dude, continue to thrive in your
Thank you.
family life, man, and
Yes,
keep
sir.
pushing out that good content, dude.
All right, man. I'll catch you
All
later.
right.
We'll do this again soon.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. You have a
All
good
right, man.
day.
Have a good day as
Thanks.
well. Stay blessed.
You too. Thank you. Guys, fantastic. Dude, Six is such a good man. He is such a good guy. Like I was telling him, I feel very honored, privileged, just giddy that I can be in a position to know such great people and have the access at least to or access at least have the access to interview and get them on screen and get people to see what kind of person that they are, and um what kind of message they're trying to push out there in society and the world. It's truly incredible, and I'm very, very thankful for all of the support, all of the people that I know. I'm very thankful for everything that you guys do. Please continue, like I said, to push out content, to push out your story, to push out the message that you're trying to convey. Thanks, guys. See you next time.